Well, Milwaukee is making a name for itself as one of America's next great food cities. From James Beard recognition to nationally celebrated chefs and restaurants, there's a growing energy around the city's culinary scene. Chef Tyler Mader, host of the Mader Menu, sits down with Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson and Chef Knall from Cassis to talk about the flavors putting Milwaukee in the spotlight.
Milwaukee's food scene is having its moment. World-class chefs are choosing the city, and restaurants like Cassis are leading the charge. With James Beard buzz, Michelin watching, and Milwaukee's Mayor Cavalier Johnson at the table, it's bigger than just dinner. This is the Mader Menu. We thought it'd be a great conversation to have about the evolution of food and all the great things that are happening here at one of the great new restaurants, Cassis. Great fanfare.
Yeah, no, I am super excited to be here. This is actually my first time being in the space, and it is beautiful. It is awesome.
We are experiencing this culinary moment right now in this great city with so many talented chefs. We see these James Beard nominations, these semifinalists constantly. Of course, we just saw Michelin, right, which is incredible. Top Chef, of course, came in to Wisconsin.
Yeah, right.
So this is kind of a moment, and having you as the leader, we greatly appreciate all that you're doing to help out these restaurants. But I think it all kind of starts as a child, right? We have these memories, if you will, about food. I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you. You come from a very large family, right?
Dude, 9 siblings all told.
9 siblings.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Was there one particular dish that your mom would make?
There were a number of things that my mom, my grandma made, my aunt made that I just love and think about even today. Like my grandma would make like pork chops. I actually just went to a restaurant. This is called Jackson's Soul Food Redefined. And there was this pork chop sandwich that they had on the menu. And I said, you know how long it's been since I had a nice piece of pork chop like that? It reminded me of those meals that I had back in the day when I was growing up, like my grandma used to make. So yeah, food certainly defines some of the experiences you have growing up. Certainly did for me too.
Can you tell us a little more about the Food Saver Challenge, just why that was so special to you?
We got an issue where there's a lot of waste that happens, but then at the same time, we got a number of individuals out there who are hungry. So how do we pair those two up and repurpose it and use it for the betterment of our community? And that's what the Food Saver Challenge is all about.
It's incredible. Even at home, you have dinner at night, you end up throwing food away. It's personal.
I agree, and yeah, that's part of the reason, to my kids' chagrin, I require them to eat all their food, to finish it. Like even if we have pizza, like yeah, you're gonna eat the crust too,
right?
You know, because we're not sending anything to waste.
Your dad champions the Food Saver Challenge in Milwaukee. You have no choice but to finish your plate, right? Is that fair to say? That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So grateful for you to be here today and for you, Chef, because it's bringing that attention to restaurants. But it's also bringing attention to Milwaukee. Anytime we can feature and talk about it, it begins a conversation somewhere with somebody. I don't want to put you on the spot here, but it's pretty impressive. The nominations in 2024 and 2025 for Best Chef Midwest, Outstanding Chef in 2022. We're one of the top 25 restaurants in the country by the New York Times, and a lot of great successes. What has this all meant to you?
Our biggest goal, my wife and I, is being in these conversations with people across the country, and they say, where are you from? And we say Milwaukee, and to put us in that conversation, it also makes the community here be proud and like want to own it.
That pride that you're talking about in so many different aspects of our city, we're sort of like a modest crowd. But sometimes it's also appropriate to say, hey, we did a thing and beat our chest a little bit. And that's what we should be doing.
Megan was here. She's an important part of this restaurant. She designed the aesthetic space. You partnered together, but she did so much of it.
We had always said we wanted to figure out how we could have a French brasserie in the 3rd Ward. Maybe a little over 2.5 years ago, I was driving down Water Street when this construction started. And I called Megan and said, here's the spot.
You couldn't have done it without your fantastic wife. So that balance is so incredibly important. How do the two of you make that work?
We treat the restaurants, we treat our teams as they're our family, but we also know that these restaurants, they provide the life for our family. We always say, but I couldn't do it without her. None of it would exist. I wouldn't be in Milwaukee. It's all our relationship together that has built it.
Tell us about this incredible space.
Cassis in New York was a huge inspiration for us. If you look at these inset lights.
See it here, right.
But also the color of the lights. Kyle was up on a ladder, again, the day before we opened, and we changed out almost every single bulb because we weren't happy with the glow.
But you've touched on it now 2 or 3 times. You were able to open a brand new space, but it already looks like there's history to it.
I did so much antiquing. The mirror hanging in the bar actually came from our foyer. I couldn't find a mirror that I wanted. I had found that at estate sale a couple years ago.
Okay, there you go. So a little bit of home actually into the new restaurant, right? Yes. This is a really special space. And when you walk in here, you want to feel like you've been transported. And you do immediately. But that history and that age, that tradition, if you will, it is so prominent through the doors here at Cassis. You did an incredible job.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thanks for the tour. This is wonderful.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it. This isn't just dinner, it's a city on the rise. Bold, vibrant, unmistakably Milwaukee. Where everything tastes better, on the Mater menu.
All right, we're back now at 11:25 with Chef Tyler Mater, the host and the creator of the Mater Menu, who's been highlighting chefs, restaurants, and stories helping shape Milwaukee's evolving food scene. Tyler, it's always great to have you here. This was something new here. Tell us what you set out to accomplish with this conversation with not just Mayor Johnson, but Chef Kyle over there at Cassis as well.
Great question. We are in the midst of a culinary moment in the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin, to be quite honest with you. There's so many incredible things happening surrounded around food, flavor, families, restaurant stories. Top Chef was here a couple of years ago, right, for their incredible show. The James Beard nominees, year after year after year, has been incredible. We've got 1033 Omakase right now, which is highlighted, nominated as one of the top new chefs in the country, new restaurants in the country. You've got Kyle Lukenzo, Zach Baker, who's an incredible chef, nominated for Top Chef Midwest. We've got the Bartolotta Restaurant Group. You've got the historic classic restaurants, obviously the Sanfords that have been around. You've got Loopy and all these incredible restaurants, and of course Cassis and Birch. And this is a moment. Now Michelin was just here too, and they're checking out Milwaukee because there's so much dynamic inspiration of food that's happening in this city. So no better time to be able to tell a little bit, a snapshot, if you will, of the story. One of the great chefs, obviously Kyle Knall, and of course the Mayor of Milwaukee, who's done an incredible job of leading this city and transitioning us into this great evolution of gastronomy.
Yeah, you mentioned Michelin, you mentioned Top Chef, things that have really happened in the last couple of years here in Milwaukee. Moving forward, though, what is the importance of like that attention, not just regionally, but nationally and internationally, right here in Southeast Wisconsin?
You hit it on the head. It's huge. Anytime we can have that kind of attention, I think it's significant, because I think there's people that have been to Milwaukee and they appreciate the culinary scene, but a lot of people that have not visited our great city that have no idea just how incredibly stunning, beautiful it is, how incredibly talented these chefs are, the food, the restaurants, what's all happening here, the evolution. It's been quite incredible. So to be able to have that attention is significant, and just to be able to bring a little more attention here today to the great restaurants and to the culinary scene has been very special. But what this does also, and a great question, is it helps out some of the lesser known restaurants.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I know that you're very passionate about not just going to those the popular restaurants that everybody hears about, but really highlighting some of the local mom and pops who have been around in communities for decades.
100%. And these restaurants we're talking about today are unbelievable, fantastic experiences across the board. But think about how many other restaurants exist in this great state of ours that you've never heard of. Now, if you live in a local community, you probably have. But outside of that, you haven't. And those are the hidden gems that don't have a marketing budget to be able to tell their story. So for the Mater Menu to be able to go out and share their story, talk to the family, talk about the inspiration of the menu, talk about, this is a tough business, we talked about that too. What goes into this every single day, the challenges are dramatic and they're significant, but these stories behind the scenes are unbelievable. And these are the hidden gems that we're also trying to highlight in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, so how can folks follow you with the Mater Menu and some of the work that you're doing?
Yeah, so right now we're giving away a $100 gift card to Cassis. So what you just saw, one of the great restaurants here, Cassis. If you want to go right now onto my social media at the Mater Menu on Instagram or Facebook, make sure you follow the page. You'll see the post right on there like that, and then tag a friend you'd like to go to the restaurant with. With the $100 gift card, you might have a chance to win that as well.
There you go. My Instagram handle is GJordanTV for anybody who wants to tag me. And
there you go.
Take me with you. There you go. You have Tyler's information there on your screen. You can follow the Mater Menu on Facebook and Instagram, and watch episodes on the Mater Menu YouTube page. Always good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.